What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back to RF Gaming. Today we are continuing our pickups videos, our new and old games that we've added to the collection recently. I probably have enough stockpiled to make a handful of these videos. And then after that, we'll probably have to spread them out a little bit, you know, because I'm not always adding tons of stuff to the collection all the time. But yeah, obviously because we just started making this series, so anything that I've added within the last few months that I'm going to include in the video. And you know, just because of COVID, we've done a lot of additions to the collection recently, so it's a fun time to do it. It is a fun time to do it. Let's just dive right in. Okay, so this is a series that I'm ashamed to say that I've never played. So I wanted to pick up the first game because it's something that's totally up my alley, and that is Dino Crisis. This is Dino Crisis for the PS1. I wanted to buy the Dreamcast version, but it's crazy expensive. It's crazy expensive. Just that Dreamcast tax, dude. This is like a Capcom survival horror game with fucking dinosaurs. Do I need to say any more?
That's disgusting.
And this is another one of those IPs that, you know, is just dormant. Capcom is just sitting on Dino Crisis. Nothing's happening with Dino Crisis, and it's very sad. So there's a lot of love for the original Dino Crisis games. Looking forward to, at some point, trying this on the channel. We'll do a Let's Play. We'll do a full playthrough. Do it on the Survival Horror Guide, and it will be completely my first time playing. So that'll be exciting. Moving on. The slow build, the reconstruction of my GameCube collection fucking continues. As I've said, I sold off tons of my GameCube games, but this is one that I actually never had as a kid, and that is, I've been looking for this for a while. That's Custom Robo. This is a Nintendo IP. This is Nintendo's own shit. You know what I mean? This isn't just a third-party game on the GameCube. This is a very underappreciated game in my opinion. No one really talks about it. He's like he's an assist trophy in Smash Brothers, you know, the Mark II or whatever. But Custom Robo's awesome, dude. It's like a 3D arena fighting game, but like played using tiny custom robots to battle it out. It kind of gives me vibes of like the game world. It gives me vibes of like something like Yu-Gi-Oh or like Beyblade or something like that. You know, everyone's carrying around their like custom robo and they do battle. But it's awesome, and the story mode is absolutely hilarious. It's got tons of charm. It's a really, really good game. And again, I never had this when I was a kid, but I remember me and a couple of my friends rented it, and we played through, like, me and my friends back like when I was a younger teenager, we'd always pull all-nighters playing video games, and Custom Robo is a game that we all-nightered, and we played through the entire game. Yeah, there's a GameCube game, there's a DS game, and they're both fucking awesome. So very happy to add that to the collection. There's like a bunch of GameCube games I need to add still, man. It's tough. It is a tough time to like start collecting for the GameCube because it's very expensive. And I've made some pretty good, like, you know, I've made some good progress. The GameCube is literally, it's my favorite console of all time. So I feel like I really want to, you know, have a decent GameCube collection. God damn it. It's like that perfect, it's that perfect blend of it's modern enough that it's still super fun to play, yet I'm also very nostalgic for it at the same time. Anyways, moving on. The PS3 got insane. It's insane how expensive. It's not crazy expensive, but it's insane how like some games like Folklore have gotten. And now I didn't buy this recently. I'm just bringing it up here as an example because I bought this last year, I want to say, for like $20. 20 goddamn dollars, and it's over 100 these days. And the reason why there was a huge spike in PS3 collecting, it was mainly to do with the PSN going down, which is kind of fucking weird because I don't think Folklore was ever a digital title. I don't even think you could have downloaded it from the store. Maybe I'm wrong. You know, people just generally, between like Xbox and Sony, people always collectors especially tend to favor Sony in terms of collectability and value in those titles for whatever fucking reason. Like, Another PS3 game that's really expensive right now is like Splatterhouse. Splatterhouse, the hold on. Wait. Splatterhouse is expensive on the PS3. I have the 360 copy, which plays better. It's got like a better frame rate and stuff. But nobody wants the the 360 version. It's all about the PlayStation. It's very weird. But anyways, I've added a few games to the PS3 collection. Hold up. This first one's a joke, but I actually did buy it recently. I don't know why. I think out of sheer morbid curiosity, I picked up Haze. And this game is notoriously shit. But okay, I booted it up. I tried it out a little bit. And you know what? It's not horrible. It's not unplayable. It's just very mediocre. You know what I mean? It's just, it doesn't do anything special. It's kind of forgettable. That's probably the biggest sin that you could commit, you know, when developing a video game, when creating a video game. Making something that's just fucking forgettable. This was supposed to be the Halo killer, too. And this was made by, Free Radical. These are the dudes who made, Time Splitters. God damn it, dude. Like, that's why there was so much hype around that game when it came out. Because it's the Time Splitters guys. No, it's also weird. It was an exclusive PS3 game, but it's Ubisoft. I don't understand. Ubisoft published, but developed by Free Radical. Okay. I picked this up because it's another PS3 game. There's a new game in the series coming out very, very soon. This is Ratchet & Clank Into the Nexus. And out of all of the Ratchet games on the PS3, this is probably one that's becoming the most sought after. And I think that's because it was a late PS3 release. It wasn't even a full price game when it first came out. I think it was like $29 or $39.99. It's not like a full like 10-hour game. It's like a shorter, kind of bite-sized Ratchet & Clank game. But I love Ratchet & Clank, and I was completely unaware of how many Ratchet & Clank games there actually are. There are a fucking shit ton. There are so many, dude. There's like 5 on the PS2, 4 on the PS3. It's like, damn. They made a lot of fucking Ratchet & Clank games, but they are fun as hell. I'll give them that much. Especially like even like the PS2 games aged very, very well. So, very fun to go back to and play, and I'm super excited for the PS5 one. We're gonna pick that shit up next month. Okay, more PS3. 2 more PS3 games, and these are really expensive. You know, I don't know. I think it's a license thing. They're not really expensive. Let me just get that out of the way first. But they basically cost as much as a brand new title today. So starting off, Spiderman Web of Shadows. And it's funny how the Spider-Man games, if you check on PS3 and all that, they're not super cheap, and I think it has a lot to do with licensing because you can't get them digitally. You know, I'm very doubtful that they'll ever get like a re-release or remaster, just because then they would have to relicense the character rights and all of that stuff. You know, and Marvel's now with Disney. Good fucking luck, dude. So this is Activision's Spider-Man Web of Shadows, and I remember fucking loving this game. I remember loving this game when it first came out because it's an open world Spider-Man game. And it's got like, you can switch between symbiote Spidey and you can play as normal Spidey, and there's like good and evil choices you can make. And you can basically play the game as almost like a villain. You could be like bad guy Spider-Man, which is kind of hilarious. And I remember loving this game, but you know what? It has not aged particularly well. Especially in the wake of like Spider-Man PS4. Jesus Christ. I think that game kind of spoiled it for everybody. That game is so damn good. But I just remember playing this when I was a teenager and being like, this game is fucking awesome. Yeah, maybe I gotta play it a little bit more. But that's a Spider-Man Web of Shadows. It's, at the very least, it's fucking cool. Next, another Spider-Man game. Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. And Activision did like a trilogy of Spider-Man games on the PS3. There's actually more, actually. Hold on. Because then there's Edge of Time. I think that's like, those are like the 3 dedicated kind of like Spider-Man games that aren't movie tie-ins. But I think there was also like Friend or Foe, but that may not have come out on PS3. Anyways, this one's kind of cool because this one takes like the multiverse kind of idea that's super popular with Spider-Man right now, especially after Into the Spider-Verse and stuff. And it's like, you know, several different Spider-Mans kind of like coming together, and I don't know. It's really, really cool. This one's actually a bit newer than Web of Shadows. I think it's aged a little bit better. Really cool game. I did play it for a little bit. How the game looks and how it plays, this game's actually super fun. Shattered Dimensions. It's not bad. Okay. Next. Wii Games. You know, I like... Okay, we're just talking about the PS3 and how PS3 games are crazy expensive right now, and there's like a huge surge in popularity in the PS3 game collecting scene. And so because of that, I'm kind of going the other direction. Like, I did a lot of PS3 collecting, I think just before the spike hit, and now I'm gonna shift in another direction, and that's collecting Wii games. The trick to game collecting, I've seen a lot of people say it, is you gotta zig when everyone else is zagging. You know what I mean? If you're trying to buy PS3 games during a huge PS3 boom, you know, in the scene, then you're in for a bad time. You're in for an expensive time, right? So right now my attention's kind of shifted towards Wii because I think Wii is kind of like a sweet spot right now where not a lot of people really give a shit about Wii games, but I think they will in a few years. Anyways, these these may not exactly be titles that are super sought after, but for whatever reason, I went down a rabbit hole of Wii arcade racing games. And it's kind of funny, like, I think the Wii is a console that's great for fucking random ass titles like this. Either arcadey type games or like kart racers or on-rails shooters, those kinds of games. That's where, in my opinion, the Wii excels, because, you know, kind of gimmicky arcadey experiences that really just work well on the platform because of the controller and all kinds of other things. But anyways, first up, this is probably the best of the bunch, and that is Excitebot's Trick Racing. Don't be tricked by this game's fucking appearance, dude. This game is actually so fun. And I have a soft spot for arcade racing games, I think, because I kind of like grew up playing them. Racing games used to be like one of the kind of marquee genres in video games. That was like one of the tentpoles of the goddamn, you know, video game genre sphere, if that makes any goddamn sense. But they've really fallen out of favor. Like, racing games are not super popular these days, and I think that has to do with things like, I think people just expect more out of their games these days. You know, you got things like GTA 5, where it's like, you can drive and race in that game, as well as a million other things, so why would I, you know, get a game that's just dedicated to racing? Anyways, I'm going off on a tangent, but I think the reason why I really love racing games and arcade racers in particular is I don't have a ton of time to play games these days. And so it kind of just like fills that need of, let's just dive into a game for 15, 20 minutes and you know what you're gonna get, and it's gonna be a good time. But Excitebots, this is actually a legit Nintendo published game. And it kind of like is a successor to like Excitebike and stuff like that series of games. Excitebike, then there was like Excite Truck, which was another Wii launch game, I think. But it's like all about going crazy fast and getting tons of air and doing all these stupid tricks. And this game's got an insane sense of speed, and it's super hard to control. But it's actually crazy fun. Excitebots. Anyways, spent way too long talking about that one. Moving on. More Wii Racing games. Now this is probably the most jank one of the bunch, and that is Midway's Cruising. No, don't get me wrong. Okay, Excitebots, I'll go ahead and full on tell you guys that this is a good ass game. I can't say the same for this. But okay, do what's funny is I picked this game up because, okay, it's Midway. I love Midway. It's the Cruising series, classic series of arcade racers. I grew up as an N64 kid, so I have a soft spot for those games. But what's super interesting is this was in arcades, but it was licensed as a Fast and the Furious arcade racing game. And then it got a Wii port and just was called Cruising. But this game, first of all, I'm very surprised at how shitty it runs on the Wii. It doesn't look good. It looks worse than a GameCube game, and it runs terribly. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me why. But at the same time, I'd be fucking lying to you if I said I didn't have fun in the 20 minutes that I played. It's not terrible, okay? Considering I bought this game for like $5. No regrets. No regrets. God damn. You gotta have titles like that in your Wii collection, okay? You can't just fill your shelf with Mario Galaxy. Okay? You need some fucking cruisins in your life. Okay, moving on. This is another Wii arcade-ish racing game. This is a movie tie-in. This is fucking Speed Racer. Speed Racer. Look! Comes with a voucher for a movie ticket. And now I know what you're thinking. Why the fuck are you plugging Speed Racer on your goddamn channel? Now let me tell you. This game is a lot better than you might think, and over the years has actually kind of gotten a little bit of a cult following. It honestly, after playing it, reminds me a lot of F-Zero, but I also love, like, you know, the banter on the tracks, like between the characters who are racing against each other. It's actually tons of fun. It's got a great sense of speed. It's got tricks. It's got Carfu combat. I didn't make that shit up, dude. It's actually really fun. It's actually not bad at all. Better than Cruising, dare I say. And I got it for like $10. But I'm telling you, who knows? One day there'll be a hot ticket item in the Wii collecting scene. You never know. And at the same time, I don't buy games just because they're rare or sought after. I bought this because I wanted to fucking play it. Because it looked like it was fun. And it is. Okay? You know how I can prove to you guys that I don't buy games just because they're sought after and collectible? Because I bought Haze. Okay, moving on. Last Wii Racing game, I promise. Okay. You know what's really funny too? Is I told you guys I sold off some of my games when I was younger, but I think I sold off a bunch of my Wii games because there's a bunch of Wii games that I remember having that are just, they're gone. They're fucking gone. Now, I do lend a lot of games out to friends and stuff, but I admittedly haven't done that in a long time. So I'm thinking I must have sold a bunch of Wii games, which is so stupid. Why? Just why? I'll leave it on that. But the reason why I wanted to mention that is because I'm adding all of these Wii Racing games to my collection. I don't have Mario Kart for Wii. The staple, the one Wii Racing game you should have. I used to have it. I don't know where it is anymore. I must have sold it, probably. It's the only thing I can think of. But anyways, Wii. Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. I actually really like these games. The Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing games, there's a few of them now, are actually very, very underrated and underappreciated. Now, Transformed is the best in this series, but there are a lot of things that this game does that I really, really like. First of all, you gotta love the fact that this game is just full of fan service. You know, you can understate how awesome it is to see, you know, Ryo from Shenmue, you know, racing down a House of the Dead track. It's fucking awesome, dude. Again, it's not just Sonic, but there's characters from all of Sega's roster of characters, you know, Super Monkey Ball, Samba de Amigo, Jet Set Radio, all of these deep cuts into Sega's history, which I love. I know I'm showing Wii Sonic and All-Stars Racing, but I also have Sonic and Sega All-Stars Transformed, and that game is fucking, it's so good, dude. Like, they got Skies of Arcadia characters, like Vice is in it, and awesome Skies of Arcadia stages, Panzer Dragoon stages, Golden Axe, like deep cuts like Burning Rangers, which is an old Saturn game. It's awesome, and they take a deep dive into Sega's, you know, history, and they just embrace it and they celebrate it. Which, can you imagine like our Capcom kart racing game? Okay, how fucking sick would that be? How sick would that be? Racing down the streets of Raccoon City? Come on, a Monster Hunter track? Dino Crisis? Come on. But yeah, okay, Sonic and All-Stars Racing, and the game actually plays really, really well. It animates really well. Just racing here as Big the Cat and just seeing all of his, you know, his ears flopping in the wind. It's awesome. This game has got a ton of charm. It's a lot of fun. It's no Mario Kart Wii, of course. Mario Kart 8 has got to be the greatest kart racer of all time. And a lot of these other games can't really touch that, but that's okay. It's okay to have alternatives. Again, I love arcade racing games, especially kart racers. I love CTR. I love Diddy Kong Racing, Sonic and Sega All-Stars Transformed. All of those games, they're so fun. Which was actually a little bit disappointing for me when Team Sonic Racing came out, because they dropped all of the other Sega IP and just focused on Sonic, which was like, okay, Sonic's cool and all, but what made like Transformed for me was all of these deep cuts into Sega's history. So, god damn it, I would love to see another one in the future. I hope they do it. I hope they do it. Last game, and this kind of ties in to Sega and the Wii and all of that. And I used to have this game when I was younger. Must have sold it because I don't know where it went. But this is House of the Dead 2 and 3 Return. Now, I talked about last video how I love light gun games. I love Sega. I love collecting for the Wii. This one's just a no-brainer, dude. House of the Dead 2 and 3. These are straight up arcade ports, but these, you know, it's a great way to play these games. I know the Wii mode is not as accurate and not as good and responsive as an actual CRT like light gun, but it's still very playable. It's still a great experience. And it's just a convenient way to play. You know what I mean? Like, not everyone's got a CRT setup. So, House of the Dead 2 and 3 Return. So good, dude. And I would love to, I would love to do a playthrough of those games on the channel at some point.
Don't kill me! No! Help me!
There was nothing we could do.
Anyways, everybody, that has been this week's pickup video. New and old games. Mainly old games this week, right? But yeah, we're just barely scratching the surface. We got a lot of other things to go over that I've added to the collection recently. So we'll be back with more very, very soon. Thanks for watching, everybody. Peace.